Hello and welcome to another episode. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander. This is matchup 2 of 4 brand new decks. We've got Mono Green Slivers, Baitor Kin to All, Vorash All Flyers, and Energy. Last game we saw Mono Green Slivers pull out a interesting win, so we're going to see what happens this time around. As always, we've gone through the first 4 turns already. I will go over any of the cards that we did get to play as we get to those decks. So starting turn 5 over here for Mono Green Slivers, we've played Nylea the Commander, a 5/6 indestructible god that is not a creature right now, and it says creatures you cast cost 1 less to cast, and you can pay mana to reveal the top card. If it's a creature, put it in your hand. Otherwise, you may put it in the graveyard. We were able to turn 2 Soul Ring, Rona's Monument, which says green creature spells cost 1 less to cast, and when you cast a green creature spell, target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. And finally, we played Lifecrafters Bestiary. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. When you cast a creature spell, you may pay a green. If you do, draw a card. So we're going to go ahead and untap upkeep. We'll scry 1. I will leave that there, draw it for turn. I will play a Forest for turn. We did do some ramping with Anissa's Pilgrimage earlier as well, so we have 6 mana plus the Soul Ring, which is great. However, we don't have any creatures except for the one we just drew. So I'm going to tap 1 to play Hatchery Sliver. It does have Replicate, so I will pay the Replicate cost of 2. Each Sliver spell you cast has Replicate. The Replicate cost is equal to its mana cost, meaning if you pay that Replicate cost, you can make copies of that creature. So since I paid it, there will be 2 2/2 slivers on the field, which is nice. So I believe according to the rules, you can pay into Replicate as many times as you're able to do it. And since we have nothing else to use the mana for, I will tap 2 and 4 to replicate an additional 2 times, meaning we now have 4 2/2 Hatchery Slivers. So at least we got a little bit of a board state. They're not big, but we got some good blockers. And I did play a creature, and I can pay 1. I have 1 left, can draw a card. That is all I can do. I still technically only have 2 green Devotion, so Nylea is not a creature. We will pass turn. Over here to Baitor Kin to All. Untap, upkeep, draw for turn. All we were able to do over here was do a Cultivate and Dryad of the Elysian Grove, which says you can play extra lands on each of your turns, and lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types, which is great because that helps mana fix. I will go ahead and tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to play Baitor Kin to All. He's a flying 5/7 that says at the beginning of your end step, if creatures you control have total toughness 10 or greater, draw a card. Then if they have 20 or greater, untap creatures you control, basically giving them vigilance. And then if they have total toughness 40 or greater, each opponent loses half their life, rounded up. Really fun deck from all the testing I've done, and the one time I played it against actual people, it actually won, which was really surprising and cool. Just in general, because it's easy to get creatures that are relatively low cost that have big toughness. They just don't do anything much else. You know, a 1/13 like a Tree of Perdition or whatever, a 0/13. So they're not going to do much attacking. But I also have a bunch of just big trample creatures that do cost a lot, but they have cool abilities that help buff everybody else. I'm not going to swing with the Dryad, of course. We move to our end step, 7 and 4. That's 11. We get to draw a card, which is great. Now, unfortunately, we do have 8, and we just drew a land, which we would have needed earlier. So I'm going to have to discard down, which is not cool. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of Essence of Antiquity. This is a 5-drop 1/10. I've got some better cards in hand for the future. We will then pass turn. Thank you all very much for checking out my video. If you haven't subscribed already to the channel, I'd really appreciate it. And also, if you could check out my other social medias, link in the bio, go follow me on Blue Sky and TikTok. Check all that out. And also, very important, the whole reason behind the Unskilled Commander is I do charity streams on Twitch. So definitely go follow me on Twitch so that you get notified whenever I'm going to have a charity stream with lots of awesome content creators and we play Magic Commander, raising money for Extra Life. So, over here, we untap for Vorash the Hunter. We were able to play a Soul Ring, and we got Thousand-Faced Shadow out. It's a flying 1/1 with Ninjutsu. I really don't care about the Ninjutsu because the Ninjutsu cost is like 4, whereas I can just pay 1 and drop him. Because it's like I said, this deck is basically Oops All Flyers. A lot of people don't have ways to deal with flying in their decks. They don't have flyers and they don't have reach. So I thought it'd be interesting to see how a deck that's just all creatures that fly does. Draw for turn over here. I will. Now, as you can see, I'm not missing one of the colors that's over here, but I don't have much mana, especially in terms of land. So we're going to tap 1, 2, 3 and play Far Wandering. Actually, I guess we should do it this way, do the smart way. Search your library for basic land card, put it on the battlefield tapped. Get a swamp. So we still have 2 mana left. Definitely nothing in my hand that's 2 mana. Most of the spells in my hand, unfortunately, are pretty large, like 5 mana or more. I'm not going to go swinging with my 1/1, even though it is a flyer, we would be wide open. So unfortunately, we're going to go ahead and pass. Then we come over here to Saheeli, Radiant Creator Energy deck. It's a lot of fun to play. Does pretty well with making the energy, and there's some decent ways to use that energy in the deck. As you can see right now, we already have 7 energy created. It was 8. We actually used Aether Theorist's ability, which was a 1/3. When he entered, we got 3 energy, and we can tap it to pay an energy, scry 1, because we are missing one of our colors. We're missing a red. I'm going to draw for turn. Thankfully, as I saw last turn, it is an 8 Evolving Wilds, which I will crack for a mountain right now. Now, it does enter tapped, so we can't use it yet, but that's fine. We will tap 4 mana. And we also got a Solar Transformer earlier, which came in tapped and gave us 3 energy, and it taps for a colorless, or you can tap it and pay an energy to make 1 mana of any color. But I'm going to tap 4 to play Aetherworks Marvel. When a permanent you control is put into a graveyard, you get an energy, and then you can pay 6 energy, tap it. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may cast a spell from among them without paying its mana cost, which is pretty cool. Rest on the bottom in any order. So theoretically, next turn we'll play Saheeli, and then after that we have a decent draw spell that based off of the, we have 1 with the machine, draw cards equal to the highest value among artifacts, which would be 4, so we could draw 4 cards and hopefully get ahead. But that's all. We're going to pass turn. Over here to mono green Slivers. We get to scry 1. I think we have enough land for right now. We'll put that on the bottom. It's interesting because the last time I played mono green Slivers against actual people, it didn't do very well at all. Now, this is the second game in a row where it's doing pretty solid. However, as you may know if you've watched my channel, especially when you're watching these types of games, I don't have a lot of interaction in my decks. I always strive to put it around 10 pieces of interaction. That includes like 2 spells that target artifacts and enchantments, 1 or 2 board wipes, and then a couple things that destroy and or exile creatures. It's like between 7 and 10 in each deck, which really isn't a lot, and most people run a lot more than that, probably double that, I bet. I don't always interact with my decks, especially when it's me against themselves, so they just do their things, and whoever does it fastest kind of wins. And the commander's not even a creature yet, but we got a lot going on. So I will play Urza's Tower as a land for turn. I will tap 1 green to play Social Climber, a 3/2 that says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, gain 1 life. And then I'll tap 3 mana to play Herald's Horn. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type, choosing Slivers, obviously. Creature spells of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast, and at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature of that type, you may reveal it and put it in your hand. Let's just see here. We've got 1, 2, 3. So all of our green Sliver creatures are 3 less to cast, which is amazing. But they're not getting any kind of buffs, and they're not really, and that's not a Sliver, so paying into the replicate cost doesn't count. We can't do that. I could swing with the 4 2/2s and get a little damage in on somebody, but again, not super important at this stage of the game. I don't feel. If this was a real game, I wouldn't go swinging. We've got flyers to worry about, but everyone else is on the ground, so I'd like to keep things up until I can build a better Sliver board state. So we're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw over here. We're going to play a Thriving Moor. Comes in tapped, and we will declare green. So it taps for black or green. Going to tap 2 mana to cast Bloom Tender. It's a 1/1, but it says tap it. For each color among permanents you control, add 1 mana of that color to your mana pool. So I can tap it. With Baitor out, I can get 3 mana, a white, a green, and a black, which is really nice. I will then tap 3 mana to put out a Commander Sphere. There's not too much we can do, but I do believe at this stage, for this particular deck, we do want to start swinging because we do have 2 small blockers on the ground. Not really going to stop too much, although no one really has big anything. But we've got a 5/7 in the air, and it's commander damage. So we're going to swing that. Now, who do we think is the threat? Clearly Slivers. Not even a threat per se, just the biggest board state. They're doing the most. Let's knock them down a peg. Okay, so they're down to 35 life with 5 commander damage. We move to our end step. We do, in fact, have 10 toughness or more, so we draw a card. Very, I love that. If nothing else, just keeping Baitor out enough to be just a constant card draw engine is really the best part about him. If you can get to the 40, that's awesome, but it's only half of their life rounded down, so that's why there's so many creatures in the deck that are big with trample, because then you trigger it, hit everybody down by half of their life. Now they're in their teens or something. Next turn, you swing with their trampled creatures, you can actually finish a couple people off. So we will pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. We're going to tap 4 to map the frontier. Search your library for up to 2 basic lands or deserts. Put them on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. Grab the forest and an island. They come on the battlefield tapped. I have 2 mana up. Nothing I can do with it. I'm going to have to pass. Now, you may be wondering, why didn't I play something bigger? I do have 1 or 2 creatures that I might have been able to get out, and I could have theoretically played the commander, which is a 6/6 flyer, and that is something important. However, I've got the spells in my hand over here are all, like I said before, very high costs, so I need as much mana as possible. So I think it's still okay to leave myself semi-open one more time to ramp a little bit. Ideally play the commander next turn and maybe even something else, or get close to being able to play 2 spells a turn. Like I said, we pass over to here, untap, upkeep, draw for turn. I will play a forest for turn. Forest, island, mountain, 1 other. To play Saheeli, Radiant Creator, a 4/4. Whenever you cast an artificer or artifact card, you get an energy. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may pay 3 energy to make a copy of target creature you control, or target permanent you control rather, but it becomes a 5/5 artifact creature with haste in addition to its other types, and you sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. Just barely don't have enough. I have 3 mana, but I need 4 to cast anything else, or I need another red, which I do not have. However, I suppose the smart way of doing it then would be to tap this for the extra for Saheeli, then pay an energy down to 6, and tap this to make a red, and then that to play Assaultron Dominator. It's an artifact creature, so I do get an energy when it comes in, when I cast it, so boom, goes back up. When it enters, I get 2 energy, so now I'm up to 9. Whenever an artifact creature you own or you control attacks, you may pay an energy. If you do, your choice of a +1/+1, first strike, or trample counter is put on that creature. Move to combat, go down 3, go back up 3 by making a copy of Aether Theorist, sending a 5/5 towards you. Similar to Slivers, you don't want to get rid of those creatures just yet, you're going to take the 5. But now, Baator is definitely going to come over to Saheeli next turn. That's all we can do. The copy goes away at the beginning of my end step, and I pass turn. Back to Slivers. Untap. We have a couple upkeep triggers. We get to scry 1, and then Herald's Horn. So I guess the smart thing would be to... That's actually a pretty good spell. I kind of don't want to do it. I just want to leave it there. Then the Herald's Horn trigger goes, we look, it's not a creature of the chosen type, so then we draw it for turn. Yes, it's not a creature at all, but it's a good card. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to play the Immortal Sun. Players can't activate Planeswalker abilities. Luckily, nobody has a Planeswalker in decks, I don't think. And then at the beginning of your draw step, draw an additional card. Spells you cast, all spells cost 1 less to cast, and creatures get +1/+1. Now you can see why this is so good for this deck. These are all now 3/3s. I get to draw extra cards. It's a lot of good stuff. You know what? I think we did get attacked. Maybe there would be discussion at this table whenever you went for that, and people like, oh, blah, blah, okay, well, I'm coming for you next. But we're going to just kind of pretend that no one's really talking because it's just me. I'm going to go ahead and play tap 3 to play Spider Food. Destroy up to 1 target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. We're going to destroy Baator. It now costs 2 extra to cast, and we get a food token over here. Now, the reason why I did that is because I just got hit for 5 commander damage in the air. Theoretically, if they come back at us again, that's going to be 10. That's going to put us almost to halfway for commander damage. We don't want that kind of beat down early, and we want to be able to have a chance to swing out. As I said before, this is still not a creature, but we do have 4 3/3s, so that's pretty solid. And then we've got 2 characters that don't even have any damage yet. I think just for the sake of argument, we're going to send 2 3/3s at you. I know you haven't done much. You're going to be like, oh, what the hell, man? I only got 1 creature out. Well, then block with this just to jump. And I guess I will. I'll block with this because it's just a 1/1, and I'll have to take 3. All right, we're going to pass turn. Now we come over here, untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Play a plains. White, black, green, 2 others, and then commander tax to recast Baator, kin to all. I'm then going to tap Bloom Tender to make 3 mana, tapping this for the last one to play Monster Manual. This is a great card for this deck. It's got an adventure side, which I don't care about in the slightest. All I care about is the core Monster Manual itself. It's an artifact that says you can pay a green and 1 other, tap it. You may put a creature card from your hand on the battlefield. That's it. No casting, so cast triggers won't happen. But you just put it on the battlefield for 2. It can be a 12-cost creature. You put it on the battlefield for 2 mana. Obviously, Monster Manual is going to be the first thing that gets blown up in most cases, justifiably so. But regardless, it's a great card to have in the deck. I'm not going to swing. We're going to pass turn. We untap over here, upkeep, draw. I'm going to play Sunken Hollow. I do have 2 or more basics, so it comes in untapped. We're going to go ahead and tap blue, black, green, and 3 others to cast Vorosh the Hunter, a 6/6 flyer. When he deals combat damage to a player, you may pay a green and 2 other. If you do, put 6 counters on Vorosh. The deck is not built around him. He's not commander damage focused. but it is a cool ability, so that if, like, depending on the way the game is going, I can focus on that if I want to. But as I've said before, the deck is supposed to be just a bunch of flyers and then buff those flyers and then swing in. Unfortunately, the flyers I have in my hand are all almost as expensive to cast as he is. Again, I got 3 mana, nothing I can cast, which is, it's upsetting. Because, not upsetting, but it's just annoying because I got 6 cards in hand, nothing I can do because, and even next turn, I might not be able to cast 2 spells. It depends on how but we're going to pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. I will tap 1, 2, 3, 4. And play Nissa World Soul Speaker. We saw this last game. It's a 3/3 that with landfall, when a land enters the battlefield under your control, you get 2 energy, and then you may pay 8 energy to pay the mana costs of permanent spells. So I'm going to play Island for turn. I'm going to get 2 energy up to 11. I got 3 mana over here. No, I got 4 mana, so good, I can do something. And we're going to do what we said before. 1, 2, 3, 4 to play 1 with the machine. Draw cards equal to the highest mana value among artifacts you control. That's going to be the Aetherworks Marvel, so we get to draw 4 cards. Okay. Nothing groundbreaking, unfortunately, but we just sped up by 4 cards. That's good. What we will do is we'll go to combat, and we will do what we did last time, using her ability, using up 3 energy to copy the Aether Theorist, but when the copy enters, we get that 3 energy right back, and we make a 5/5 with haste. I'm going to swing the 5/5 with haste at you. And you do have a 6/6 flyer now, but that's still all you've got. That and a Soul Ring, otherwise it's all lands. Now that 6/6 flyer can get big if it hits people a couple times, but that's not a concern just yet. Swinging a 5/5 at you, I think at this point you'll block with the 3/3 token, it'll die, but you're not going to take any damage. Now the game's starting to move, we don't want to start taking damage unnecessarily. Pass turn. Oh, hang on, I just realized that Aetherworks Marvel says whenever a permanent you control is put into a graveyard, you get an energy. That's tokens. So I missed it the last time, so I won't do it, but we'll go up to 12 because that tokens do technically now hit the graveyard before they remove themselves from existence for enter the graveyard triggers. So that should count because the token is still a permanent. So there we go. I got to remember that. That's cool. Untap over here. Upkeep trigger. We can scry 1 first. It's a land. We will definitely put that to the bottom. Then look at the top card. If it's a sliver, it is a Realm Walker, which is a changeling. So this card is every creature type. So that will go to my hand, and then I will draw for turn. So nice, very cool. And at the beginning of my draw step, I draw an additional card. Ho-ho, there we go. Synergy, baby. All right, I'll play a land for turn. I'm going to tap 1 to play Realm Walker. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. I'm going to choose Slivers. You may look at the top card of your library at any time, and you may cast spells of that chosen type from your top of your library. I don't know if it's really worth activating the replicate cost. Normally, you really want to do that when the creature has an ability so that the abilities stack. Like if it was a sliver that said slivers get +1/+1, I would dump all my mana into replicating it so that they would get +4/+4 or whatever. Replicating it just so I have extra creatures is not a bad strategy, and I do have a fair amount of mana, and because of the reductions I don't need too much. So I suppose we'll do that twice. So I will make 2 copies of Realm Walker. Then I'm going to tap 1 to play Masked Vandal, which is a changeling, so it's a sliver. When Masked Vandal enters the battlefield, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. If you do, exile target artifact or enchantment opponent controls. I don't have any creatures in my graveyard, but I will tap 4 to do the replicate twice on this one. Oh, right, hang on. The replicate cost is equal to its mana cost, so this particular sliver has replicate 2. This one's okay because the Masked Vandal is a 2-drop, but the Realm Walker, I wouldn't have enough mana, so I'd have to untap something. So I can only do 1, which is fine. I can look at the top card of my library at any time. It is not a sliver. Not that I have the mana, but that's fine. And then when you cast a creature spell, target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample until the end of turn. And we have whenever a creature enters the battlefield, you gain 1 life. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We actually gain 5 life. Back up to 40, and we'll say that this particular sliver right here gets, and it's cast, so I only cast it twice. So this is +4/+4 until end of turn. Total, with all the buffs, it is a 7/7, because it's a 2/2, +4 is 6, and then it gets a buff from the Immortal Sun up to 7. And it has trample, which is nice. Now we've got a bunch of good creatures out. Gotta try and condense the board state a little bit here. But most of these creatures just came in, so they have summoning sickness. But I'm not going to waste a 7/7 with trample, so we will move to combat, and I will swing that. The nice thing also, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Nylea is online as an indestructible creature. I'm not going to swing her just yet, though. You still have full life, so I'm going to swing the 7/7 with trample at you. So you can stack block and kill it with a bunch of creatures, but you would need to use your commander to do so, and obviously I would take that out. So do you just take the 7? You don't really want to get rid of the Thopterus because you can use its a net 0 with Saheeli's ability right now. Because you copy it, it brings that 3 energy right back, so you're not losing anything. I think we just take the 7. Down to 33. All right, that's all we can do. I don't believe there's any end step triggers. We're going to pass. All right, let's see if we can start to get some craziness over here. So untap, upkeep, draw for turn. Boom. Well, nothing super good. However, I will tap 2, one of them being green, and tap the monster manual to just drop onto the field. Zopendrel Hunger Dominus, a 4/6 with reach, which is cool. But more importantly, at the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. And you can pay double green or 4 life to sacrifice 2 other creatures and put an indestructible counter on Hunger Dominus. Darn, I've got some really good cards in hand, but nothing that, most of them are kind of reactionary or deserve like a big board state to use, so I'm not sure it's really... Alright, so I'm going to go to combat. Now, who is concerning? Your Slivers is definitely concerning. We're going to send the 5 in the air at you. Now, do you have reach? No, okay. That must have been somebody else. So, yep, you're going to go up to 10 commander damage, which is nothing to ignore. And you are back down to 35 life. We're going to move to our end step. 6 and 4 toughness. That's 10, 17, 18. So we've got 18. We do get to draw a card. We don't get to untap, though. And then we're going to go ahead and pass turn. All right, over here. Untap, upkeep, draw. Temple the False Gods, which is online, so that's actually really good. I'm glad I drew that because that's more mana. So maybe now we can actually start playing some spells. I'm going to tap 2 blue, 1, 2, 3, to play Defiler of Dreams. It's a flying 4/3 as an additional cost to cast blue permanent spells. You may pay 2 life. Those spells cost a blue less to cast if you play life this way. This effect reduces only the amount of blue mana itself. And whenever you cast a blue permanent spell, draw a card. Awesome, we have just enough. We're going to tap Fairy Formation. It's a blue card, or a blue permanent, so I'm going to draw a card. Awesome. It's a flying 5/4 that says pay 4 mana, create a 1/1 blue fairy creature token with flying, draw a card. All right, so we finally have some flyers for blocking. I do not have mana open to use his ability, but I'm still going to swing with him. So we're going to swing our 6/6 commander. Question being where? I mean, that is starting to become a concern. They only have 1 card in hand, which we can all pretty much see, or we could ask. But I don't know, but that's still like a bunch of 2s and 1s. I mean, that could do some damage over time. Whereas you are starting to get big and getting close to your triggers at the end, and you're starting to have, you got plenty of energy. So if you get anything that uses that energy, we're all screwed. So it's still kind of anybody's game. And that creature does have reach. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to send it at you, simply because your flyer is currently out of, it's tapped. It's our opening. You have a creature with reach, but you're certainly not going to, oh, wait a second. I totally botched up. Hang on. Let's reverse a bit. I forgot. So that was 10, 17, 18, but that's doubled because at combat, oh, that's right. So you actually took an additional 5 commander damage, an additional 5 damage period. Literally just played the creature and immediately forgot about its awesome ability. So at the beginning of my combat step, all of my power and toughness is doubled until end of turn, which is when the triggers, when Baator's checks happen, which is why that's in the deck, because it allows me to reach higher toughnesses. So the point is, you took 10 commander damage. That's a big deal. You will probably get taken out on your next turn unless you can get some reach or do something to deal with Baator again. It was 18, but even double, that's only 36. So the only trigger that other would have been that your commander would untap, which means I cannot swing at you. And I would know that before I went to combat, obviously, because that would have all happened at their end step. Was a little foolish. So in that case, I actually won't swing because I forgot. Okay, so theoretically what it means is they're most likely going to take out Slivers on their next turn. So we will send this over at you. You have no reach, so you're going to take 6 damage. Okay, there we go. Now we pass turn, because there's no end step triggers for me over there. Play Seat of the Synod, just an artifact land that taps for blue. I will tap 4 for the Bespoke Battle Wagon as an artifact, so I get a energy from cast, and I can tap it to do a bunch of stuff. Tap it to get 2 energy, tap it and pay 2 energy to tap target creature, or tap it to pay 3 energy to draw a card, or pay 4 and that becomes an artifact creature until end of turn. I'm going to tap it, pay 3 energy down to 10 to draw a card, because we need some better stuff over here. Yeah, Yeah, sort of. I'm also going to leave up some mana. So now we're going to go to combat. We're going to do our normal shenanigans of down 3, back up to 3, making a Theorist. 5/5, send it. You just attack me. I'm going to send it over at you. A 5/5 with no other special abilities other than haste. You've got flyers. I mean, I say we take it. Take the 5. At the end step, it gets destroyed, and then because it got destroyed, we get an energy. Now, here's the thing. Another thing that we have been kind of missing. I played the Synod, which is a land, so I do get 2, so I'm actually at 13 at this point. The Assaultron Dominator's trigger. We are making a 5/5 artifact creature, so when an artifact creature attacks, I can pay energy to give it some sort of counter. I have not done it. It's a May ability. That's fine. We're going to ignore it because they're not... If it was one of the actual artifact creatures in the deck, then yes, you definitely want to do it. On the ones that Saheeli creates, they get destroyed anyway, so putting anything on it other than maybe a +1/+1 or maybe the trample, it's kind of irrelevant. And even the trample, it's a 5/5, so so we're okay that, I mean, I missed it, so I got to remember that for future games against actual people, but right now it's fine. It's a learning, and that's the whole point of these episodes. It's for me to learn how to play my decks better. It's for me to learn deck building and gameplay in general, and hopefully I'm helping some of you out there to learn along with it as you watch my mistakes and be like, oh yeah, he should have done that, or that's good to know, or whatever. So we're going to pass turn. Untap, upkeep triggers, scry 1, put that to the bottom, it's a land. Look at the top card, it is not a sliver. Leave it there though, so I draw it, and then draw another card off of the Immortal Sun. Going to tap 1 to play Essence Warden. I do gain a life. And hey, I played that in the wrong order, but that's okay. Going to tap 3 to play Guardian Project. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature you control or a creature in your graveyard, you draw a card. I should have played that first, then played the Essence Warden so I could have drawn a card. It doesn't really matter at this point because clearly we're about to get the old KO. However, we can do that, so we're going to tap the Soul Ring and stack the food to gain 3 life. Again, that doesn't matter up against commander damage, but it's something. We do have something very important in my hand that I need to remember. So the question is, because I know what I have in my hand, what do I do? Now I have quite a few creatures. They are getting a +1/+1 buff. This is no longer a 7-something. Do we try and swing out? We would be wide open. But he's the only threat in terms of the crackback. I mean, if both of them attacked me, they might be able to take me out. And technically, we have one little Essence Warden that can be a blocker on the ground. Okay, so even if I swung out over here at Baitor and they blocked 4 creatures, the max I could do would be 16 damage. A very solid, good hit, but it's not going to take them out, and then they just crack back on me. And taking them down that much really basically leaves them open to everybody else. I mean, we're not king making, we're just like, and the thing is, they've been attacking us for commander names. So it's like, you do want to kind of swing back if someone's poking at you. It's like, hey, stop it, I'm going to swing back. So it's not unheard of, and it's not super petty, it just makes sense. I think we do it. I think we're going out, we got to go out on our own terms. We're going to move to combat, we are going to swing the board. We've got a 6/7 with the buff from giving everything +1/+1. So a 6/7, indestructible, so you would block that with Baitor. A 3/3 Hatchery Sliver, you'd block that with the Hunger Dominus, so this would be destroyed. Then you've got 2 more 3/3s. You could block one of them with the Dryad of the Illicit Grove. It wouldn't die, but neither would the Illicit Grove. And honestly, I think I'm going to leave the Bloom 10. I'm not going to block with that, so that would actually be one that gets through. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Okay, so now 19 damage gets through. Okay, I mean, you're down to 16. That is really low. That's really close where the other characters might be able to take you out. And I keep forgetting I have the thing in my hand. I gotta remember to... So yes, I do that. I'm like, oh, it's not enough. Tee-hee. Oops. Pass turn. So now this is where things get interesting as to how this is going to work. So we untap, upkeep, draw. I don't have any big creatures that I want to sneak out with Monster Manual, which is unfortunate. Yeah, I think this is where we screw up Sliver's plans. So I'm going to tap 2 black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to play Exsanguinate for 9. Each opponent loses X life, and you gain life equal to the life lost this way. So they're all going to lose 9, and I'm going to gain 27. Now let's see if anyone has any kind of ways to stop that. And what's really funny is one of the other decks has Exsanguinate in their hand as well. But yeah, no one can stop it. Ba-boom. Now I'm at 43, punk. What you gonna do? So then we move to combat, and we're like, yeah, we're taking you out. We swing, all of our power and toughness is double till end of turn, and we swing a 10-14 in the air at you. In response, we tap 3, Obscuring Haze. Actually, we don't have to tap 3 because we have our commander out. Obscuring Haze. If you control commander, you may cast this without paying its mana cost. Prevent all damage that will be dealt this turn by creatures your opponents control. Suck it. But then we move to our end step. The numbers haven't changed, so we get to untap. We draw a card first, then we untap Baitor and pass turn. So that was pretty cool. I mean, that was a nice little back and forth. We were able to do some stuff. Now, over here, we untap, upkeep, draw. You know what? I mean, it's just funny. Like, I don't want to drag the game out, but we got to, right? Tap 2 black. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll see your exsanguinate with a prettier one. Each opponent loses X life, and you gain life equal to life lost this way. Oh, how the turntables have turned. So poor Saheeli's down to 9. Slivers are at 16. Baitor's at 34, and now we're at 52. And we've got flyers. So we've got 6, 10. We got 15 total flying damage. Yes, we could take out Saheeli. So here's my thought, right? Now, if we do swing out, then we are completely open to, like, they could even swing in Hunger Dominus if they wanted. But we're at 52 life. Who cares, right? When you're that high, you go for it. We only need 9. 5 and 4. Boom, yeah. So we're going to swing these 2 at you for 9 damage in the air, and we're going to swing Vorash at you for 6 damage in the air. Unfortunately, is there something we can do? There is. Okay. Again, we're kind of dragging the game out a little bit, but we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. We're Aetherizing, you son of a bitch. Return all attacking creatures to their owner's hand. Now, the nice thing is, at least as for the commander, that goes to your hand. You don't have the commander attacks. But now we are really wide open. We were going to be anyway, so it's not that much of a change. It's just we don't take out and damage the people like we thought. And now everyone's going to crack back because they got 52 life. You got to get them down. Very cool. Glad we... See, I do have some interaction, as I said, just not a ton. So we're going to pass turn. There's nothing else they can do. They have no open mana. We untap over here. Upkeep, draw. I'm going to play Carpulsan Forest. I gain 2 energy off of Nissa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to play Behemoth of Vault 0. It's an artifact, so I gain energy. When it enters the battlefield, I get 4 energies. Now I'm up to 20 energy. That's awesome. When Behemoth of Vault 0 dies, you may pay any amount of energy equal to non-land permanent mana value, and when you do, destroy that permanent. What's unfortunate is all I have in my hand are some board wipes, which would affect me. So it's like, yeah, I could take out all of those slivers and all that crap over there, but I would also lose all of my stuff. So we're going to go ahead and do the thing where we tap, pay 3 down to 17, draw a card. It's a land. Awesome. I've got 4 mana, nothing I can do that's helpful. Oh, I should have used Aetherist's ability first, but that would tap him. And he's only a 1/3, I guess. I'll do it now. Tap, go down to 16, and scry. I should have done that before I drew the card. So I will put that on the bottom because it's a land again. So it wouldn't have even helped, really. I still would have ended up with a land. Now we move to the beginning of combat, do the thing, down 13, back up to 16, and swing everything at you. And we're going to pay the 1 down to 15 this time to give that 5/5 token a +1/+1 counter. So it's 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 15 total damage. 4 of it is commander, if that matters. Back below starting life total. I'll put this here as a 4, but I don't think that's really going to come into play. But that is all we can do at the end of beginning of end step. The token goes away, left the battlefield, so we get energy. What sucks is I have a lot of really cool cards in this deck that say pay X amount of energy to make a token, to do whatever. I could use all of this 16 energy and make a bunch of an army, but I don't have them right now. So we pass turn. We untap over here. Surprisingly, still alive. Scraw, upkeep triggers. That's going to go on the bottom. And then we're going to... It is a sliver, so it goes to our hand. We draw for turn, and then we draw an additional card. Going to play a forest for turn. Going to tap 1 for a venom sliver. Slivers you control have death touch. That's pretty cool. I do not have the thing anymore where I can replicate, but I do gain 2 life. And we'll tap 3 for a heraldic banner. As it enters, choose a color. We'll choose green. Creatures of the chosen color get +1/+0, and it taps for mana. We also played a creature that doesn't share a name, so we get to draw a card. Cool, it's a forest. Gosh darn it. Right when I really need good cards. It's always how it is. You know, somehow when you get to the middle of the game and you've got yourself poised and you just need 1 or 2 something decent, you always just get like 2-3 lands in a row. It's crazy. I can look at the top of my library. It is not a sliver, so I can't play it. Now the question is, what do we want to do? Do we want to swing out at them, bringing them down? Would that even be worthwhile? Do we want to swing over there? Because they actually, I mean, we are getting decent buffs now, so we could do some damage. So theoretically, we could take them out completely. We got 40 damage on board with the buffs. They are completely defenseless, awesome. However, we don't have any more fail-safes. So if they come over with their commander, we're done. And they are only at 9 life. So they could theoretically, and with the power and toughness being doubled, they could win the game then. If we take them out, they win the game. So I think what you got to do is you got to swing this direction, right? Because they have to rebuild 15. They can do theoretically 15 damage as of right now. 15. Well, if they gave that thing, yeah, they could kill us then. We have a blocker. One blocker, but it's something. All right, I think you got to try, right? We did it once, we got to do it again. Not counting our Venom Sliver that just came through, and everything does have Death Touch now, so that is important. So we swing the board at you. 40 damage total coming at you. If you block, you'll survive, but you'll lose your creatures because everything I have has Death Touch. All right, well, we'll definitely block the commander with the Dryad of the Elysian Grove, because that served its purpose. We don't need to worry about that. And that will die. So that stops 7 damage out of the 40, putting it down to 33. We have 1 mana. We would have 1 life, but I mean, hey, that last life is all that matters. That might do it, though, huh? This is, let's try it. So they swing. There are no other buffs. They get +2/+1. These are just triggers. Oh, okay. Whenever you cast a creature spell, target creature you control gets +2/+2 and gains trample. There's your win. So we need to think about that as if we hadn't reacted. So that was still on during combat. Now, if we'd forgot that, at this point, really, we should just not do it because, you forgot. It's not a May ability, but you forgot. You didn't choose anything. It fizzles. But at the time, I would put it onto Nylea. I'm not even trying to save Baitor. It's it's the biggest creature I have. It's indestructible. Give it the buff and trample. So now it would be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So now it would be a 9-something with trample and indestructible. Absolutely, that's the creature I would pick. So as we said, we blocked with Dryad, and Dryad's defense is a 4, so that would have ate up 4 damage off of the 9, putting it back down to a 5. But the problem is there's nothing else to block with. The only way we can win is if we leave the doubling up. 33 and 5 is 38. You still have to block with something else, otherwise you die. And again, like I said, everything's got Death Touch. No, not everything has Death Touch. These two are not slivers. Haha, workaround. Darn it. I mean, that's cool, but yeah, only the changelings and the slivers. So I would block the Soul Caller, Solar Climber, Social Climber, whatever, because that's 3, 4, 5. That's the 38 down to 33 again. Oh, okay. So right, it doesn't have Death Touch. It's fine. Okay, there we go. There's nothing else we could do over here. The math should be right. They're not slivers. So Hunger Dominus can totally block it without fear. And to that end, what am I thinking? Baitor can block Essence Warden and kill that as well. So that's actually another 3 we would gain. Another 3 we wouldn't take. So now we're down to 4. So it's not even as down to the wire. Still ridiculously down to the wire. Okay. That was cool. I like that. That was impressive. Oh man, no, back and forth. Wait. Okay. There's nothing else we can do. No end step triggers. We pass turn. Untap to a very angry Baitor Kindual. Hopefully we draw something decent. Draw a card. Oops. Nope, it's a land. We'll play a swamp for turn. Oop, this untaps as well. Now, what do we have mana-wise? We got a lot of responses in here. I don't think we have enough for what we do. Okay, now do they have... Okay, they do have creatures, and they could totally pay... Oh, that's tapped anyway. They have a 6/6, and the only way to kill slivers is with the flyer. So we kind of have to do this, which is fine. So 2 black, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in Garruk's Wake. Destroy all creatures you don't control and all planeswalkers you don't control. There are no counter spells over there, no mana up or counter spells over there. Yep, you no longer have any creatures. We move to the beginning of combat. Power and toughnesses are doubled. We swing the board. Baitor at you. That's enough commander damage to take you out. We take. This is now an 8/12. Oh, shoot, 8/12. Okay, well, we have to send... I was going to send Bloom Tender at you just to do some damage, but we have to send them both over you. 8. Yeah, because this is now 10 damage. You're at 9. And there you go. Kaboosh. But we have no mana up, and we have no blockers, but they don't have anything either, so we pass turn. All right, this is not normally how Baitor is supposed to win, but... Oh, first of all, sorry. We do draw a card. Still haven't hit that 40 toughness either. So we untap over here. Draw for turn. We've got 10 mana. Right. Okay, that seems like a good idea. So here we're going to go. We're going to tap 2 black and 2 others. To feed the Serpent, we're going to exile Baitor. Now costs 4 more to cast. Then we tap the rest, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, to cast Commander again. 1 mana up, can't do anything with it, pass turn. So that buys us a little time. So we untap over here, upkeep, draw. We'll play Razor Verge Thicket, comes in tapped, unfortunately. All right, we got enough, so we will try it. We'll tap 1, 2, 3, 4 for the commander attacks, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to recast Baitor. Yeah, we might as well. We're going to tap Bloom Tender to get 3 mana to activate Monster Manual, just to put out Elvish Piper, which is a 1/1 that says green, tap it, you may put a creature card from your hand on the battlefield. It's the same as Monster Manual, actually 1 less to activate, and it's designed to help me get big creatures out faster, which I'm just not getting my big creatures, which is annoying, but we're still doing pretty well. So now, move to the beginning of combat. We have, and it says the beginning of each combat, so that will help in terms of them cracking back. So so this is now an 8-12. Yeah, we're gonna swing an 8-12 at you. You block it, you lose your commander, or you lose 8. They lose 8 because they're at 37, but we did some damage. Move to our end step, so we get to untap our creatures and draw a card. Well, draw a card first, then untap creatures. Pass turn. Untap over here. What can we do? Draw for turn. Oh, man. Yeah, you're at 4 life. That does it, huh? No, you got reach. And it's the beginning of combat every time. So, but it's instant to replay Fairy Formation. Well, actually, Defiler of Dreams first. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with 1 floating to play Fairy Formation. It's a blue spell. We get to draw a card. I don't have any others. The point is I have Deadly Rollick, which is an instant, and we have our commander, so we don't have to pay for its mana cost. So I can exile a creature. I can exile the commander. They might not be able to play it again next turn, but that doesn't mean I get through it, because Vorosh is still a 6/6, and at every combat, I double the power and toughness, which means Hunger Dominus is still an 8/12 to block with reach. But I think you got to, right? You got to exile it 1 more time. Now it costs 6 more to cast. It's a 5, so it's 11 mana just to recast him. There's no point in swinging the flyer, unfortunately, as we just said, so we pass turn. We untap over here, we upkeep, draw. I'm going to play Temple of Melody. Comes in, I get to scry 1. Yeah, that's a land, we'll put that on the bottom. But we need 11, we only have 10 mana. But that's okay, we actually have something really cool, which we've mentioned before. We have no creatures in hand still to use their abilities. Oh, I forgot, we do have Blue Tender out, so we actually do have enough to recast the commander. But I think we're going to hold off. We're going to pass turn. And be like, oh, this sucks, I got no giant creatures. Now not playing anything with all that mana. Actually, you're right. I mean, that is kind of stupid. Although I passed turn, so I mean, I could. It's a little late for thinking of that, because all that mana open, you're kind of announcing that you have something. You want to play something and then be like, oh crap, I don't have enough to do anything else. But no, I passed. We'll try and play it out. Try and learn. That's the whole point of this. Learn to think ahead. So untap, upkeep, draw for turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alkult's Deepest Betrayal. It's a 4/4 flying with lifelink. When it enters, each opponent discards a card. For each opponent who can't, you draw a card. They will discard a card. Whenever an opponent discards a land card, make a 1/1 bat. When it dies, return it to the battlefield tapped and transformed. 1, 2, 3, Chromatic Lantern. 1, 2, 3, 4, Vengeful Reaper. It's a 2/3 flying Death Touch haste. Now, we don't have any open mana. These 4 can attack. However, they don't have any buffs. And as soon as we go to combat, power and toughness is double, as we said. However, does it matter? It doesn't, because we've got more. It does matter. But first of all, we got to go discard for them. Discarded the Godless Shrine. So this is the only one, and it's not a land, so they don't make a 1/1. So we've got 4 creatures. They can only block 1 of them. As long as 2 of them hit, they're done. So there's no point in sending all of them. So yeah. Just these 3. You can block 1 and destroy it, but you're going to take the hit. Now, what you're going to do is, in response to attackers being declared... Sorry, it's like, I declare no blockers. In response to no blockers being declared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ink Shield. Prevent all combat damage that will be dealt this turn to you. For each 1 damage prevented this way, make a 2/1 white-black Inkling creature token with flying. So that's 15. I make 15 2/1s with flying. And that's definitely part of the fun, because now when I play Baitor next turn, that should be enough to absolutely trigger his final ability on the end step. However, nothing gets through, blah, blah, boom. They've got nothing they can do. They're going to pass turn over to here. We untap, we upkeep, we draw for turn. And actually, we're not even going to waste around time, because I have a card in my hand that I should have probably used far earlier I need 2 green and 2 others, and then I need 2 white. So 2 green and 2 others, and then 2 white, and 1, 2, 3, 4. We are tapping 6 mana, Winds of Abandoned, Overloaded. Exile target creature you don't control. For each creature exiled this way, its controller searches for a basic land, puts it on the battlefield, tapped, and then shuffles their library. All of these goes away. We're not going to worry about getting those out right now, because with the last 4 mana, boom! Triumph of the Hordes. Until end of turn, creatures you control get +1/+1 and gain trample and infect. I swing the board. So that was, what, 15, now 3 2s? So that alone is enough, and then, so actually, just for safety's sake, we won't swing the Piper or the Bloom Tender, and actually we don't need to send anything except for these. So yeah, 45 infect, I think we win. Ka-chow! That's hilarious. That's not normally how Baitor is supposed to win. That is in there for that reason, as a secondary win con, if we have enough creatures with trample or something like this. But that's pretty sweet. I love it. I'm really glad that Baitor got to win. I hope you saw some really cool cards. I hope you enjoyed the game. Please subscribe. Follow me on my other socials so you can see when I'm posting things, and also when I'm going live for charity streams on Twitch. Those are always really fun, and I appreciate you hanging out. I will see you next time.